So, you want someone to apologize to you for something they did. You want an apology for their wrongdoing. And if you're here watching this video, you probably understand that everyone is you pushed out. And so that is completely in your authority and ability to manifest. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you all so much for your patience with me. I know a lot of you have been requesting this video for a little too long now. I know this video is going to help you in getting the apology that you want. So let's get right into it. Let me just say this right out of the gate. If you're waiting for an apology from someone and it's just not coming, the holdup is actually with you, not the other person. The fact that you need the apology is exactly why you're not getting it. Now, I know not what you necessarily wanted to hear from me, but it's the truth. And I'm going to explain why. And I'm also going to share one of my client stories who would get an apology from her specific person every single time so that you know how to do that too. So you can get the apology. We just have to change your mindset. So stay tuned with me because in this video, I'm going to show you why you're not getting the apology yet, what's actually required to shift that, and the mindset that will not only bring you the apology you've been wanting, but will completely transform how you experience the entire dynamic and situation with this person. If you're new here, hello, I'm your Muse Traci. On this channel, I help you unlock the power you already have but can't access. I help you break through where years of trying has failed. And the biggest hurdle of all, I help you go from intellectually knowing the law to permanently embodying the knowing. So how this usually goes is you've been replaying what they did. You've been justifying why you deserve to hear the words, I'm sorry. You've been waiting for them to finally acknowledge how they hurt you. And the longer you wait, the more frustrating it gets. The more you start to question whether it's ever going to come at all. And here's what nobody is telling you. That exact energy of needing an apology is the thing keeping it from showing up. And I'm going to explain why. Don't worry. So let me ask you something. When you think about this person, when you think about what they did, what exactly is running through your mind? It's probably something like, they should apologize. They should acknowledge what they did. They should understand how much they hurt me. I deserve better. And every one of those thoughts is keeping the apology from coming through because every one of those thoughts is rooted in something that doesn't actually align with the law. Let me explain. You are seeing this person as separate from you. You see them as having done something to you. You see yourself as the victim and them as the one who needs to make it right. And from that perspective, you are the victim, and the victim mindset is keeping you firmly connected to the version of this person who wronged you. And it's not allowing you to align with the version that is apologizing and accepting the responsibility. And of course, the law responds to what you're being, not to what you want. So as long as you're being someone who was wronged and who is the victim to the other person's decisions, actions, behaviors, you can only be a victim. You can't actually be a victim and a creator at the same time. You have to commit to choosing one. Either you're a victim or you're a creator. Now, here's what I really want you to understand because this is the missing piece for most people. When you keep replaying what they did, when you keep focusing on the wrongdoing, when you keep needing them to acknowledge how they hurt you, you are living in the end of the wrong version of this person, of your specific person. You're always in some end. You just may not realize it. And you're living in is the version of them who wronged you, who hasn't apologized, who doesn't get it, who keeps disappointing you, who keeps frustrating you. You are keeping that version of them present in your reality every single time you replay the hurt and the situation. Every single time you justify when you deserve an apology. Every single time you wait for them to finally see what they did. That's you selecting the wrong version. And what I mean by wrong is the version you don't actually want. So remember, everyone is you pushed out. So as long as you're holding the wrongdoing version in your consciousness, in your awareness, the person in your 3D has no choice but to keep playing that role. They literally cannot apologize because you haven't given them the right script, the script that includes the apology. You've given them the script that includes the wrongdoing because you keep replaying it in your mind. And they're just playing the part you keep assigning to them, right? This is the law. This is how it works. This is the law in action. So the shift isn't just letting go of the need. The shift is moving into living in the end of the version of this person you actually want to experience. The version that, of course, apologizes to you. You don't even have to ask for it. The version who takes responsibility. The version who already gets it. The version who has already said what you've been waiting to hear. And that version already exists, just like every other version of reality exists. Creation is finished. All possibilities are already created, including the people in your life. Every possible combination and version of this person already exists, right? The version that apologizes is already there, waiting for you to select that version and shift into experiencing it. But you can't access that version while you're still holding the wrongdoing version in your consciousness, right? You can't experience that version also while you're still being the victim. You have to drop that version of them and of you and pick the new one, the new version of you and the new version of them. This isn't about excusing what they did. This isn't about pretending it didn't matter, it didn't happen. This isn't about being okay with, what happened or how they behaved. But this is about understanding that whatever they did was an assumption and a belief that you had to have been holding first. Again, you're the one that gave them the script. Maybe you did it unconsciously, but you gave them the script and they just read it back to you, right? So you're either the victim or the creator. You cannot be both. So if you want to create something new now, you have to accept that you also created what has been. Now, if you're not willing to accept what has been, you'll struggle with creating something new. You see how it works? Again, I'm going to keep saying it. You can't have it both ways. As long as you stay tuned to the old version of them, that's the version you'll keep getting more of. No apology coming anytime soon. And again, like I said in the beginning, if you're not getting the apology, it's a you thing, not a them thing. I'm not laughing. I know this is hard to hear, and I know maybe it's a serious situation, but I'm trying to lighten it because I really want you guys to see the simplicity, okay? There may be some hurt there that you need to process. But the moment you tune into the version you desire to experience, who has all the qualities you prefer, that's the version that has to show up. The mirror that is your reality has to follow you. It is already following you. So let me tell you a little bit about my client I mentioned before. She would get an apology from her specific person every single time, without fail, automatically almost. So my client was experiencing a lot of hot and cold behavior, sort of in and out with her specific person. She was in the process of working on this and smoothing it out, right? We were working together. So she was working on smoothing this out and getting the relationship to be more in than out. But in the meantime, the out was still showing up, and it was painful for her at times. So she was doing the work, and every time her SP went out, she acknowledged that it was her previous assumption that created this, and she processed the emotions that were there, and then she focused on the wanted version of her specific person. She went immediately. She didn't wait. She didn't need an apology to shift there. She went immediately. She stopped wasting time dwelling on the wrongdoing that was showing up, the out, and why and how to get it to stop. It was a great reminder that she would tell herself that we talked about in our one-on-one session is the way to solve any problem is not to focus on the problem, but to focus on the solution only. So, like for example, if you're hungry, you don't stay focused on being hungry, you naturally go to the solution. Food, what do I want to eat? Same thing applies here. She didn't solve the problem of, her SP going out, the out version of her SP by focusing more on the out version. She shifted into the solution, which was the inversion, right? So remember I said it was a lot of in and out. So she wouldn't replay what happened. She wouldn't justify why she deserved better. She wouldn't list out all of his faults and wrongdoings. She would just shift. She would just go to the solution, to the version of him who had already made it right, who was already the version she preferred to experience. And without fail, he would reach out, he would apologize, he would acknowledge what happened every single time. She didn't even have to ask, hey, what happened last time? Where did you go? She didn't have to ask. He offered up the apology almost immediately when they came back together. And not only the apology, but an explanation without her even having to ask and dig and question. Because again, that would be her living in the end of the old version. And this is what's available to you. This isn't some special power that my client has, or she wasn't dealing with an especially compliant specific person. Not at all, actually. She sometimes felt like her specific person was difficult and stubborn and hard, right? So it's not because of any of that. It's because she used the law and it works every single time. This is the law in action. And this is exactly what I teach my clients to do consistently. So they're not at the mercy of other people's behavior. They are directing it. I teach them this skill when they're coaching with me. And it's not a special skill that you have to develop. You're already doing this. Yes, you watching this video, every single one of you, you are already doing this. What I show you and what I teach my clients is how to do it consciously so that you're getting the results you actually want, not just random results coming from your programming and past experiences. This is what I teach my clients, and this is what my clients learn to master when they work one-on-one with me. If you want this type of support, there's a link in the pinned comment and in the description. If you want to book a call with me to see if we're a good fit to work together, then you can go and click that link. So let's talk about how it feels when the apology does show up so that you kind of know if you are headed in the right direction. So when you do this consistently, the apology comes, like I said, sometimes even shockingly fast, right? Because the other person was never the one in charge of the apology. You are always the one creating. And when you change, they change automatically. They were just playing the role your consciousness assigned them, right? Unconsciously. And when you assign them the role of the one who is already your preferred version, then they have to play that role too. They don't get a choice. And that role, of course, includes an apology. And this isn't manipulation. This isn't tricking them. This is just how the law works. And you're doing it already. Whatever version, was doing the wrong version, you also selected that version. Okay, so this isn't manipulation. This is you using your abilities that you're already using, just using them consciously. So you're selecting the versions that you actually want to experience. That's all you're doing here. And you shift first. The reality, your reality, and including the people in it, follows your shift. And by the time the apology comes in, you are definitely not desperately waiting for it. If you're desperately waiting for it, that's a sign that you're not quite in the right place, right? When the apology comes in, you're not collapsing with relief that it finally arrived. You've already received it within, right? You've already gotten there within. You're already in the version where it's already happened. You've already accepted it. So when it does show up in the 3D, it's just confirmation. It's just the mirror catching up to you. It's the natural reflection of what you've already been holding in consciousness. If you're waiting for an apology and it's not coming, this is the explanation of what's going on and the explanation about how to change that. And listen, I want to close with this. I don't care what the circumstances are. Circumstances don't matter. Don't let your mind convince you after watching this video, yeah, this works for other people and other circumstances, but not mine. Mine are harder and mine are special and, mine are the exception. None of that is actually true. That's you, your ego, most likely, trying to keep you trapped in the illusion and not in the truth, not allowing you to live in the truth of what is actually happening. They are you pushed out. You're living in the end of the wrong version of this person. You're keeping the wrongdoing version alive with your attention, and the mirror is just faithfully reflecting that back to you. The shift is to start living in the end of the version who has already apologized, the version who already gets it, the version who already took responsibility. And like I said before, that version already exists. It's already there. You just have to tune into it instead of the other one. You are not the victim of anyone's behavior. You are the one directing it through what you're holding in your consciousness. So choose differently. Choose the version of them you actually want, and then live from that end. The apology will come. If you want my help applying this to your specific situation, identifying what's keeping you stuck in the wrong end and shifting you into the version of reality where you've already received everything you've been waiting for, I'd love to work with you. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment where you can book a free one-on-one call with me, a strategy call where, we'll discuss if it's a good fit for us to work together. The results my clients get, they learn to direct their reality with this kind of precision, and they stop being at the mercy of other people's behavior because they understand they're the creator. If you want that kind of help, again, click the link down below. I would be thrilled to work with you. Thank you all so much for watching this one. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next video.